Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about a framework that I use. I'd like to call AFIE. It stands for Assumptions, Facts, Ideas, and Experiments. And I'm sure this exists elsewhere, or like some variation of it. But this is how I like to think about it. And what this is a framework you can use to evaluate decisions, especially when you don't have all the information. It's really useful for doing things like planning business product launches, purchase decisions, or like even just problem solving things in your own life. So basically, what this does, and I'm going to use Trello to demonstrate this, but you really can't just use a piece of paper or a whiteboard or anything of that nature. Basically, what you want to do is you want to take your board and make four columns: one for assumptions, another for facts, another for ideas, and then another one for experiments. And what you want to kind of do is like at the top of your board, you want to like write a very clear problem statement. Um, so let me just give you an example. What I'm talking about, how to apply this. I'm considering buying a freezer chest. Okay, so my problem statement could be that I want to buy I want to buy a freezer chest. Will that help me, or is this a good idea? Okay, and then what I want to start doing is listing my assumptions and facts about buying a freezer chest. Now, an assumption is something that like you think is probably true, but you don't have any real information to like back that up. And facts are things you've like personally observed or have like it's things it's facts to you. In this case, facts could be your opinions, but they're opinions based on data. So I could list a couple facts here of my own about why I want to do this. Okay, my freezer is full, and that stops me from benefiting from bulk sales. Okay, because that's in my case that's true. My freezer's full. There's a lot of stuff in there. So like if I see a lot of like say meat on sale, like Kroger has roasts buy one get one free. I can't take advantage of that deal because I don't have room to store the stuff. Okay, so an assumption there is that I will actually use the things that I put in my freezer. So that's an assumption. Okay, other facts. This will increase my electric bill. Okay, and another fact is some friends of mine have bought one of these, and they say that it helps them a lot. So that could be a fact that other people who have bought a freezer have told me that it's helped them save money. Okay, so assumptions. I could add an assumption that buying a freezer chest is very expensive. Because I haven't really, say I haven't really researched it yet, right? Okay, so it will probably increase my electric bill. And I'm going to put that as a fact because, that does seem to be the case. Anytime you plug an appliance in, it's going to increase your electric bill. But if I'm honest, that might actually be an assumption. I mean, it seems like common sense, but maybe it should go in the assumptions column. All right, so and this is what I want to do. Is I want to lay out all of my facts and assumptions about getting a lay down freezer like this. The assumption, another assumption is that it will be difficult to set up or install because I've never done it before. Okay, that's an assumption because I don't really know. Okay, so, and I could go on here for quite a while listing these things, but I'm just trying to give you guys a general idea. And then I can explain how we use this at work recently to like figure out like a whole business direction or like possible service we could offer. So what I want to start doing then is looking at my assumptions and facts. I want to see if I have any ideas or theories stemming from this. So one of the things here is that I could ask the people I know, hey, how difficult was it to actually get your freezer and set it up? I could ask a lot. I could ask people a lot of questions. I could ask things like, how much did this increase your electric bill, and things like that. So ideas are basically just like potential courses of action that you could take, because the idea here is what you want to do is get as many facts as possible, and you want to try to move your assumptions into facts. So buying a freezer chest is very expensive. Okay, so ideas is I should check costs of freezers. Okay, I should ask Kyle if his was easy to install. Okay, it will be difficult to set up or install, so that kind of hits that one. And I will actually use the things I put in my freezer. So that's a debatable one, because like I do but I don't. There's a lot of stuff in my freezer that I don't, and I can start to look at like, why is that? Why don't I use the things that are in there? So anyway, once I've got some ideas, what I want to try to do is actually put some experiments in place. Where these are more like action items. Like, this is a specific thing I'm going to decide to do. So an experiment would be, I'm going to check 3 different websites for the price of a freezer, and I'm going to assume that the average price that I find is probably what I should expect to cost it, to install one. So like that's like basically the experiment is what am I, like, the steps am I going to take to carry out my idea. So I could go ahead and do that. I'm not going to make you watch me, but I could do that, and I could make the experiment here is like, check prices of 3 different websites about freezers, and assume the average price is what to expect. Okay, so that's just generally kind of like how this framework functions. And this has been used in my life quite a bit, as well as in like corporate boardrooms, business consultancies, things like that. And like, here's an example of how maybe it can be applied in business. We did this last week at Logistics Done Right, which is a 3PL company that I'm part owner of that does a lot of services for online business owners. So you should check them out. So anyway, one of the things that came up is that a customer had emailed and asked us. They just basically said, hey, some of the stuff that was shipped into my Amazon store seems like it's missing. Like they expected Amazon to get like 400 units of something, and Amazon says they only got like 395 units. And they just asked us, hey, like, what is your policy, or what do you do about this? So the customer service, guy that got this email, he assumed that the customer was angry with us, or that like the customer thought we lost the goods or something. So we sat down, and we went ahead and went through AFIE with this. So what we came up with for facts, if I remember correctly, actually I don't know if I really need. It's going to detract if I go ahead and do this whole board. But what we had come up with as facts is that first off, on various online groups where Amazon sellers like talk shop and discuss things, we can see a couple different things. One, it's a fact that people complain about this who don't use our business. Okay, another fact is that there are people who use our business who have never complained about this. Third fact, there are people who use our business who have mentioned this before, but they've never become upset or asked for a refund, and they continue to do business with us. And then the fourth fact was that this seems to happen even for people who ship directly to Amazon themselves and don't use a 3PL. So based on those facts, what we were able to we made the idea or assumption that this is an industry-wide problem, and the customer's not really expecting us to refund them or something. What they're asking is, what do other sellers do about this, or like, what causes this? And under our assumptions column, we had listed things like, well, we're assuming that the customer is upset and expects a refund. Another assumption was that perhaps what's going on is sellers don't really understand some of what happens when their products get to Amazon, or like how long it can take for everything to show up in their inventory. We had made some, some other assumptions along those lines. So what we came out from this was we came up with some ideas that, okay, maybe a blog article explaining more of the ideas and situations about what happens when you ship things to Amazon would be a good idea. Another idea was maybe trying to get some kind of almost like a knowledge base put together of how different sellers handle this when it happens, and so so a bunch of different things like this. And what this has developed into is we actually now have like a quarter 1 strategy we're going to try to put in place around this to see if we can solve this problem, since it seems like a lot of people suffer from it and they don't really have a good solution. So anyway, I hope you learned something here, and I hope this can help your business or your personal life. These videos really are dedicated to anybody who's trying to build a business, self-improve, anything along those lines. So I'm going to cut this off. I hope you learned something, and you have a pleasant weekend.